So I promised you that I had a surprise for you in the end. This is next week. I said next week we are really going to start applying some of the teachings I've spoken about, but also we're going to get a specialist in uh, bringing dreams, bringing vision into life. This person, I'm telling you, I've worked with her, and I worked with her in the period before I even started making actual steps to the edges and rings that you see now. If you go back and watch the origin story of Edges and Rings, you see that I contacted Lala Coulibaly and Olimata Yeng in 2021 to start really taking the big steps for realizing Edges and Rings. But before that, I was working with myself. I was preparing. I was building up my courage to be able to say that we are putting Afro-descendant women on the agenda. We are going to share our stories on our terms, and that these bridges are important. I needed to become another Miriam than I was before starting to take the steps. And the lady that helped me to make this as clear as possible before taking my first step, this lady is called Tendai Chagweda. Tendai is a vision board trainer, a transformation coach, a professional DJ and educator based in London. I flew from Oslo, Norway, from undergone kidney transplantation. I had given away a kidney to a friend, and I was in such a vulnerable place in my life. But the only thing I remember during that period was that I want more. There is more for me to do. This life is so precious, but I didn't have the courage to do it prior. I had been holding on to these different projects for over 7-8 years, and Edges and Rings being one of them. So I reached out to Tendai and said, please help me. This vision board trainer and transformation coach truly changed my whole view on how I could reach my goals, even just to take the first step. And she is joining us next week, and she's going to give us an introduction on gaining that clarity I've been talking about, helping you to remove all of the fog, to remove all of the bias, to remove all of shoulda, woulda, coulda, maybe not, maybe it's not for me, all of that, and make it crystal clear. And I believe, let me see, Tanda is with us. Let me see if she can join us to just pop in and say hello and give you a little bit of taste of what you can expect next week. It's going to be a Zoom live. So it's going to be in a closed room for people who are really serious. Says if you are serious about reaching a life of overflow, abundance, or just need to be courageous for making other changes in your life, Tendai is our person. Let me see if she wants to drop by. Let me see here. Tendai Chagweda also runs the successful business vision boarding and vision realizing organization called Quest for Success UK. You can find her on Facebook, on Instagram, on her website, Quest for Success UK. Hey, Tanda, how are you?
All right, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
You're
Really,
welcome.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be connecting with you again because, like, I'm living proof of your work. Do you understand that?
Bless you.
This community, this initiative is because of the amazing work that you do. You kind of, I'm a very driven person, and when I set my mind on something, I go for it. But when I connected with you, I was in such a vulnerable shift in my life. I just needed almost like an acceptance or somebody to open up the door and say, just walk through, Miriam. Like that's literally the job that we did together. So I'm so happy you could jump on here, and also that we have a vision boarding introduction live with you next week.
Yes, exciting.
So exciting.
I'm so grateful you put in the work. You are a testimony to everything that you've just done. I wrote down a whole load of notes. I'm happy to share them as well in your group with regards to what you've just shared and all of my answers that I done there and then. So being proactive is so important in leveling up. I was so proud that you came all the way from Norway, fresh off a plane, came to my offices in the Shard. We done our workshop and you left there pumped. You came in pumped anyway, and I remember you leaving there pumped. And yeah, just really grateful that you have done the work, and you're living proof that doing the work pays off, because look at you today. I was so proud. I was writing down the notes thinking yes. And it's so funny, in my group I wanted to incorporate what do you want to change and what agitates you and what do you need to do, but I just didn't think they're in the right space to ask them those questions, because of the work that I do, right? But with you asking us, i.e. this call that you just done, I'm like, I needed that, and I wrote down so many things, and I was able to divide it into things that I need to ask others to do to make a change, and then things that I need to do myself. So I kind of had two divisions there. But going back into what you were saying with regards to the vision board workshops, and the work that I do, a lot of the things that you said is paramount with regards to manifesting. For anyone here that's on the call that is not aware of what a vision board is, vision boards are a collage of words and images of things that you want to achieve, of things that you want to achieve, things that you want to be, do, or have, basically. So we're going to be doing something next week, right?
Yes, and it's a tool. Let's not forget that, because a lot of people can think that it's wishy-washy, and that's why they don't allow themselves to use this tool. It's just like the tools we use when we work out. It's just like the tools we use in the office. This is exactly what it is. And also, it also reminds you to hold yourself accountable, because it's vision board. You can see it every day. So you can't hide it. Yes, so look at there you have it. Exactly.
Vision boards are a visual representation of things that you want to achieve. But as she said, it's a tool. And most of the times you should be doing vision boards after you've done the work. So it's a lot of law of attraction work. It's making sure you've got the right mindset, because you shouldn't create a vision board if you've got a negative mindset. So it is important to do a tally, a checklist on where your head is at. So incorporate kind of like checklists, law of attraction checklists, to see how many things you're doing. The very first thing on that checklist is, are you being accountable? So for example, if you're on this blame game, this has not been going right for my life, that's not going right for my life. When it comes to you creating the vision boards, you're just going to have you're going to be kind of agitated. And that's why it goes back into what you were saying with your step one. What makes you agitated? And most of the time you will find it's actually ourselves that makes ourselves agitated.
Hey, you're coming for us. Hey,
yeah. Is
you're
it things
coming for us? Yes, most of the time you are the agitation. You know?
Because you may come across people that constantly might get in your nerves, for example. But the reason why is because you're not speaking up about it. So you're going to constantly keep getting people of that nature, because you're not speaking up or you're not being proactive and doing something about it. So you're going to constantly keep on coming against that lesson, for example. So are you being accountable for the things in your life that you want to change? So yeah, this checklist is quite important, because if you try to build a house with weak bricks, then you know that house is going to crumble down pretty soon, opposed to you making sure you strengthen your mindset, making sure that you're doing things on this checklist, anything from how often are you exercising, how often are you practicing karma, the law of attraction, how often are you giving, and how often are you receiving, because it's a two-way thing. So it's making sure that you've got a lot of those things in place. And I get people to make sure that they're looking at those things before they create the vision board, just so that they make sure, oh yeah, I need to make sure I've got my mind in the right place. so that when it comes to speaking to the universe and creating this vision board, when I say speaking to the universe, anything that you do in life, anything that you say, you're speaking to the universe, and you can speak things into existence, right?
Yes,
So
yes. And also, like, I really like what you said about this holding yourself accountable. And also, I remember I had a conversation a couple of years ago with my business coach.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of dating. Like, I want to meet my future husband. And then he was like, okay, Miriam, then because that's an agitation.
Right.
And then he said, like, okay, let's make this clear. What kind of men have you been dating?
Right.
And then I explained the past 3 men I have been dating within like 15 years. He was like, Miriam, you've been dating the same man in different shape.
Right. Wow.
No wonder I couldn't find a husband. None of them possessed the
Qualities.
yes, thank you. The qualities I'm looking for in a future husband.
Right.
And it's just that simple. When it comes to you want to change something, apply change in your life. What agitates you? For me, it was as simple as, okay, I'm not meeting the right people, the right person, the right partner, because I'm already in the beginning, the foundation of where I date, where I find them is the wrong place.
Right. I see. Wow.
To the qualities. You understand?
Yeah. Yep. So that leads me on.
Sorry?
Say that again, sorry?
No, I mean that the foundation was already wrong from the beginning. So the places, the areas, the environment I was meeting, the men I was dating were already a mismatch with the qualities I was looking for. So that comes in the accountability part again. Then it's not simple. Then I couldn't blame it on them anymore because, like he said very plainly, you're dating the same man in different shapes.
I see.
In different forms.
Right.
So yet again, this tool comes back to, okay, being clear about what the qualities I'm looking for, what kind of end game, meaning there's a marriage that I wanted in that same, in this context. What do I need to visualize, and then what changes do I need to make step by step to get closer to them and for seeing them come to life in my life? So I'm so excited. I'm really excited. I know, especially we're moving towards the month of love, which also, like studies show that it triggers desires, and not only romantic desires, but it can be change that you want in your life. And then going back to what I spoke about the year of overflow, it might be the love for yourself, treating yourself better, but it demands something from you. You're not going to say, today I'm going to treat myself better, and tomorrow you do it. It's different steps that we take day to day, and how does that vision, that desire look like at the end of it? Hey, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. So family, next week we are going live in Zoom with Quest for Success. Tendai Chagweda from London, live and kicking, and is going to give us an introduction in finding that clarity. We're building our own tool that will help us to reach the desires, the visions, the goal that we set for ourselves. Because this year, no sister is going to be left behind. Not on my watch, and not on Quest for Success watch. Cool? Sis, thank you so much for dropping in. I'll see you next week. And everybody,